Today, I'm going to teach you how to create this Playboi Carti rotoscope crop effect inside of After Effects, even if you're an editor with zero experience. Let's get straight into it. First up, shout out to Directed by Frankie. He went crazy on this new Playboi Carti music video. So we have our clip right here. The first thing we're going to do is rotoscope. So double click on your clip and we're going to grab the rotoscope brush, and then we're just simply going to draw over our subject. Now, if you get this yellow error that says like frame rate mismatch, it's very simple. Go to where it says composition and click composition settings, and then just change the frame rate to whatever that yellow error says. So on this first frame, we're just simply going to select all the subjects right here that are in view. Now, because this effect is so rotoscope centric, we're also going to be diving into the refine edge brush tool. Now, the refine edge brush tool can be accessed by hovering and clicking on the rotoscope tool, and then you'll see it right here for refine edge tool. And then you can hold command to, and then scroll, click and scroll to increase the size of your brush. And basically what you need the refine edge tool is for stuff like hair or smaller details like Lone's fingers over here. We click on it, and as you see, it's going to create a Lua matte that's basically going to isolate the hair that would be way too intricate for us to rotoscope manually. This is just really great for getting smaller details and making sure we get a perfectly accurate rotoscope, or a near perfect accurate rotoscope. And then once we have all those refined edges selected, we're just simply going to drag along our timeline. And as you can see, it really messed up, so we're just going to go ahead and fix everything and basically just repeat this process. And by the way, once you get to the very end and you're happy with all your rotoscoping, just make sure to click the freeze icon and it will freeze all your rotoscope clips. So we rotoscoped out our subject, but there's going to be a couple things that we want to do to just make it even look cleaner. So you might notice that there's some really harsh edges going on right here. And the first thing we can do is just increase that feather. So I'm going to change this feather over here to something like 7. And then it becomes nice and smooth. As you can see, it's getting a little bit extra edge. So we can just basically go ahead and increase the shift edge, or decrease the shift edge actually, and it'll move the edge more inward. So then that way we're not getting any extra room. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this clip in our timeline. We're gonna hit Command D to duplicate it. And on this very bottom layer, we're going to actually delete the roto brush effect. So now you see it looks like a completely normal clip, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our effects and presets, and we're going to search for the crop edges effect. So now we're going to apply this crop edges effect to our bottom layer, and voila, just like that, we can increase the crop amount, and you see we get this really dope out of screen rotoscoping effect. Now, one thing to note is that Frankie's shooting this on what looks to be a really wide lens. So I'm assuming something like 12, maybe 11, or even 6 millimeters on the Sony cameras. So if you get a wider lens, you're going to be able to get more of the subject as they get closer to the camera. And then when you get this cropping zooming effect, it basically looks like it's just a standard 24 millimeter zoom. And that really wide lens helps compensate for having this extra rotoscoping effect. And that's what just makes this effect look so cool. This is just one of the variations. We're gonna hit Command D on this bottom layer to duplicate it so that we can mess around with some other stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hold Shift and delete all these crop effects. One other effect he did is this like bar effect. So I'm gonna click on my rectangular mask tool, and then I'm just gonna create a rectangular mask in the middle just like this. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select this mask and I'm going to invert it. So then that way we have these like kind of inverted cinematic bars. One other effect you can do to really make this cool is add a scale wipe effect. So scale wipe effect is one effect I haven't seen in a long time, but you can just apply this. This is a native effect to our bottom layer. And then what you're gonna see is nothing happens, but if we increase the stretch, it really starts to warp our image. And we're gonna change the direction to 90 degrees. And then I might change the stretch to like negative. So then it starts warping Ken over here, and yeah, this is looking really sick. And then you get some crazy looking like distorted effects. And by the way, one other thing I did not get to mention for this effect is it seems that they're using a lot of warp stabilization for this like shaky warp feel. This clip already has it, but I'm assuming we can apply it again and it'll look even crazier. So if you want to add a warp stabilizer, and this will give everything that kind of smooth but also trippy feel to the video as well. And there we go. If we play it out, we get this really like warpy, trippy, but also stable video effect, and it looks super cool. And if you want, you can even change the result to no motion. This basically means After Effects will do its best job to make it look like a tripod shot even though the camera is moving, and that's when you get this crazy like warp wiggle effect. It looks really, really sick, especially when you have a lot of movement. You kind of get your own camera shake and stuff. But there you guys have it, some cool rotoscoping effects. Now, if you want to learn how to automatically edit music videos to the beat of the song and add visual effects in just one click, you can click on this video right here.